Hello everybody, Sniping is Fun here, and I welcome you all back to my part 2 of this top 10 list, in which I'm going to be detailing my top 10 Nintendo franchises that I feel need to be on the Nintendo Switch. If you guys have not seen part 1, numbers 10 through 6, I would strongly recommend you see that list, like I always mention, just because it would make more sense to watch in order part 1 to part 2, 10 to 1. I am not forcing you or anything. You could watch anywhere you want. You could watch part 2, then watch part 1, then watch another list in order. I have no idea. You can do whatever you want. I'm not forcing you. I'm just strongly recommending it because it would make more sense going in order, and also I might accidentally be be spoiling, some of my numbers from before, and then you'll be like wondering like what number they were or so and stuff like that, and that's really about it. So yeah, like I said before in this one, I'm doing this list to detail my top 10 Nintendo franchises I feel need to be on the Switch. And the word is need, not should, not maybe, not probably, not debatable, need to be. Because in my opinion, when it comes to Nintendo Switch and Nintendo in general, I feel they should be using a lot more of their franchise, and lately they have not. Wii U especially seen very little of their franchises. And that's especially the reason I wanted to do this list. But I also mentioned in part 1 that this list was split up into 2 different lists. Just like my Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite list, where I split between Marvel characters and Capcom characters, I wanted to do it like I basically mentioned in part 1, if it's redundant here if you've already seen it. I'm splitting this up into one list is my Nintendo franchises I feel need to be on Switch, and the other one is the third-party games / third-party franchises I feel need to be on the Nintendo Switch. That list is going to come after, that list will come later. This one is, of course, the Nintendo franchises as seen in the video, wherever the video title is, wherever you're watching it at. Normally it would be down here. But this is part 2. Like I said, I strongly recommend you watch part 1, and then we can start from here. And let's get onto the list so we can get this done and over with. And we left off at number 6 with 10A Snowboarding, which is a franchise I feel Nintendo needs to be bringing back. It's like they have all this variety of genres, these variety of franchises, especially in their sports genre, extreme sports, normal sports, whatever sports. And it's so sad that they don't do that because sports are a popular thing, and if they had more sports on their systems, I think people would, you'll gravitate to being able to play all these different sports, especially since like lately the sports genre has kind of been away from Nintendo, besides their own few games here and there. And I feel if they built up their own sports games again, they can get all the other ones as well and have more sports games on their system, just like they did back on like the 64, GameCube, Super Nintendo, and stuff like that. And people still, like I said, there are fans still of 10A Snowboarding, and I'm not going to stay here and talk about it. You can watch part 1 where I talk about 10A Snowboarding. I don't want to talk about it too much here, but that was number 6. So let's get on the top 5, so I don't, we're not here for, ever, So number 5 on this list is going to be Sin and Punishment, because Sin and Punishment was such a unique, interesting series. It's basically Star Fox, but without the Anthro characters, in a slightly more serious story world. And there've only really been 2 games. This right here is the cover art, the design for, the original Sin and Punishment on the Nintendo 64, which, if you have never heard of it, it's because we never got that game, but if you check on the Wii Virtual Console and the Wii U Virtual Console, they do have this game up there. It's in English, it's really fun, and also really freaking hard. You got Saki and Achi, the original lead, Saki and Ami, or whatever faces, I forgot, now that's Achi. And this crazy, like, on-rails shooter type world, where, unlike being in, like, an R-Wing, like in Star Fox, you're walking around on the route, so you're able to move yourself just like you are in your R-Wing, and shooting at enemies and comboing and stuff like that. It's a really cool franchise. And then they made a second one on the Wii, Star Successor, with their son Issa and everything. And you would strongly know who Issa is, because he was a strong character I pushed for Smash Brothers. And it's just become such an interesting franchise. I obviously would never have heard of the original because it was never localized back in the day. So I go out and I'm like, okay, let me try this, because it was like $20 at GameStop when they did the second one, and it was really fun. Then I go and I download on the original Wii this one, and this one was really fun. They are both really freaking hard, especially the second one. The second one's a pain, and I'm stuck there. I eventually beat this one, even on the easiest difficulty. It was really freaking hard, especially the final boss. But it's just such a fun, unique, game and franchise and story and characters, and it's a different approach to the genre than what Star Fox is. Like, there's there's no need for Nintendo to have one game represent a genre. Like how Mario is this big like platforming game. They have all these different platforming franchises, and they don't use them all the time. Only sparingly do they use like something like Donkey Kong or Kirby. But Mario seems to be like the big major thing. Obviously, the on-rail shooter could be Star Fox, but does it have to be the only on-rail shooter? Here you go. And you can even expand a third game in this franchise where maybe it's not on rails. Maybe it's just a run-around hack and slash and shoot-'em-up style adventure game. You could expand it to a different genre even. Because the story and lore and characters of this game were pretty freaking interesting. And I really would like to actually see, a continuation of it. That's number 5. Number 4. Wave Race, because Wave Race is a really freaking awesome franchise that dates all the way back to the original Game Boy. I never played the original Game Boy version, but I played the N64 version. I grew up with the N64 version. It was really freaking fun. And they made Blue Storm on the GameCube, which was almost even better. Like, it was just as good, if not better. And it's just a long time, like I mentioned with 1080. It's been forever. This game was like a launch title. The last Blue Storm, the last game, was a launch title for the GameCube. So it's been 15 years since we've seen this franchise. And people have been requesting this franchise a lot. They've been requesting this franchise, they've been requesting, 1080 and all these different Nintendo franchises, and I'm surprised that we haven't seen a revival of this franchise yet. So the Switch, being like 2 generations now that we haven't got this, this franchise, would be good to bring it back. And that's all I can really say. It has a nice, interesting atmosphere, riding ski-doos, or jet skis or whatever, across like the water and real world water physics, and this really cool characters like Ricky Winterborn, which I mentioned was 1080, so you could universally maybe put the 2 cast of characters together, for 1080 in for Wave Race, and just bring it back because it's such an interesting, unique, different franchise that adds to their sports genre, and it's different and unique enough, and it will draw attention, especially because it's been like so freaking long since we've seen one. We are now in the top 3, and number 3 is going to be... Golden Sun. Now, people will be saying, oh, but it's like a handheld franchise. But now that we're technically, mixing handheld and console together, we could probably finally see a legit console-style version to Golden Sun. And we haven't had a Golden Sun game since Dark Dawn on the DS. It left us off on a cliffhanger. They can make Golden Sun 4 for the Switch, where it's all super fully 3D, voice-acted and everything. It's just an awesome RPG franchise, which Nintendo needs more RPGs. This could be a good start for them. Everyone's clamoring for it. Everyone wants a continuation of it, so just put Golden Sun there. That's all I'm saying. That's all you need to do. And that's it. That's my number 3. Number 2. Advance Wars. Because everyone wants a new Advance Wars. Just like I mentioned with Golden Sun, yes, I know it's a handheld version mostly, at least Advance Wars is. The Wars franchise in general is not, because it dates all the way back to the Famicom and has had console games like Battalion Wars as well. But Advance Wars, Battalion Wars, the Wars franchise should be on the Switch because it's been 2009 was the last time we've seen one with Days of Ruin on the DS. And it has all these wacky, cool characters like Andy and Sammy and Max, and you get the cast from Days of Ruin, which were interesting too, and you get the cast from like Battalion Wars, and I think just find maybe a way to mix them all together. It was the original strategy game from Intelligent Systems. Before they even made Fire Emblem, they made this franchise, and Fire Emblem's been getting so popular recently. It got such a push since Awakening. Why can't Intelligent Systems, why can't Nintendo do the same thing to the Wars franchise, Advance Wars? Bring it back and light a fire under it so it becomes bigger. Like, Fire Emblem's become so big, why can't they do the same with this? And I know a lot of people, a lot of gamers out there love this franchise enough to want to see it return. The Switch is the way to go with that. It could be, the Switch could be the system to revive franchises on. It could be. And that's it from number 2. Now, before we get to my number 1, like always, I'm going to be mentioning a couple of honorable mentions that I feel really would be cool Nintendo franchises to see on the Switch, and they should still be on it. They still need to be. They just missed the boat this close to being on the top 10. But just as much, I feel they need to be on as well. Just not as much, this close to making the list, just not as much as the top 10. Metroid. Easy answer. It's freaking Metroid, and we haven't seen a new one since Other M. And, you know, since Metroid Prime 3 and Other M, Metroid Other M. Why haven't we seen one yet? It's a staple classic Nintendo franchise. Have it on there. It's we didn't get a Wii U one, we can get one now. It skipped the N64, came to the GameCube, skipped the Wii U, comes to the Switch. There you go, simple as that. Star Fox, because obviously Star Fox made a return with Zero. I know people weighing on if they like it or not, if it's a good game or not. It has a lot of flaws, whatever the heck you want. It's a classic staple Nintendo franchise. It needs to be there. And it's likely going to be too. Ice Climber, because we have not seen the game since the NES. They put them in Smash Bros., the Ice Climbers, and how about you revive it and then you put them back in Smash Bros. And make it so we have a new, unique, maybe 2-player online multiplayer, some sort of crazy, wacky adventure game with the Ice Climbers. It's been so long, you could innovate enough. Nintendo, just do something. Xenoblade, because it's pretty freaking obvious we're going to probably see a Xenoblade 3, at least on the Switch. We probably will see a port of Xenoblade Chronicles X. They might even do something with Xenoblade Chronicles the original. But we need a Xenoblade 3, at the very least, because it's becoming a staple RPG franchise for Nintendo. And it's pretty likely as well. Excitebike, because bringing the franchise back, not just World Rally, you know, on the back with the Wii, whatever they did, on the Wii, they brought like a eShop style game with Excitebike World Rally. Bring it back so it's a full-fledged game and you can add some stuff to it, like how you do Excite Truck or Excite Bots, do a full-fledged game to it. And quite frankly, I would like it to be a sequel to Excitebike 64. Because I loved Excitebike 64. Custom Robo, because it's a cool battle game, like an event arena battle game. You can just customize your own robots. We haven't seen one since the DS. And it's a classic staple franchise. Bring it back. You can customize and take your Switch and battle your friends with your own custom robos. Pun intended. Fire Emblem. Because it is a staple Nintendo franchise now, and I only put it as honorable mention because it's almost freaking guaranteed we're going to see at least one Fire Emblem on the Switch. Maybe we'll see 2, maybe we'll see 5, I don't know, but we're going to at least see it. We're going to have Fire Emblem. And Pokemon, because now we can finally get a full-fledged console experience of the handheld adventure games. Nintendo, the ball's in your court. Pokemon for the Switch. And I mean a full-fledged actual Pokemon game. No arenas, no super-driven story that limits you like, oh, you can only catch shadow Pokemon. Full-fledged Pokemon game. You can travel, collect Pokemon, beat the Elite Fours or whatever, and battle online. Done. It could be like an MMO-style game. A Pokemon Go in your living room. And that's it for my honorable mentions. Drum roll, please, for my number 1 most wanted, most felt Nintendo franchise that I feel needs to be on Nintendo Switch. And since you have not seen it on here and you know I've talked about this franchise a million freaking times before, you probably already know what it is. But drum roll, please, anyways. The anticipation is killing me. My number 1 most wanted Nintendo franchise that I feel needs to be on Nintendo Switch is FZero, because it's freaking FZero, and we have not seen it so damn long. It's been, what, 13 years? It's been as long as the 1080 series. It's almost going on 14. I mean, I'm counting that. I'm counting GX. I know we got GP Legend, and then there was Climax and stuff in like 2004. But I'm talking about full-fledged console games, especially here. It's been so freaking long. So many people demand this. So many people love this. It's a staple Nintendo franchise that's been around since the launch of the Super Nintendo, and I am surprised we have not seen one lately, especially with how much demand it is. Star Fox was just as demanded, and it came back so revival. It's been 2 generations since we saw an FZero. The Switch could be the revival of the FZero franchise. You can add customizable vehicles, racetracks, online play, a story mode where we learn more about Captain Falcon. Give him something more to do than just being a character in Smash Brothers. Everyone wants this. It's cool. There's techno music, metal music mixed in together, customization, online, big multiplayer adventure, racing, hard, whatever you want to do. It's just F-Zero. I want to see it back so badly, and I'm mad that they haven't done it. And that's my list. I hope you guys liked it. Put in the comment section what you guys think. What do you guys think of my top 10 Nintendo franchises that I feel need to be on Nintendo Switch? Put in the comment section what you guys think. Do you guys want to see these franchises? Do you think they should be there? What franchise do you want to see from Nintendo on Nintendo Switch? Like I said, put in the comment section below. You can discuss it there. Have some fun. My name is Sniper's Fun. Peace. Please subscribe if you want to. And have a lovely day. And stay tuned for my next top 10 lists, especially the third-party ones for the Switch as well. See you all later. Bye.